set the thing and everything. You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host, and we are
Karen.
live on a Monday, ready to do some podcasting. If you're premium, shout out to our preemies.
Shout out to the
Shout
premium
out to the
folks.
tippers, the people that look out for your boy and your girl.
Keep this
Okay,
boat afloat.
that don't mind Hawk 2 or spitting on that thing once a month for us.
Yes.
Just kidding. On that tip, not. Shout out to them because we did a episode of Lip Smacking Good last night, and we put it out last night.
And we had a lot. That was fun.
And so, Lip Smacking Good, Karen, can you tell them what that show is about?
Lip Smacking Good is my show. Lip Smacking Good is the show that I do where I talk about food, and it's evolved over time if you go back and listen to old episodes. But this is a show that me and Roderick do, and I'm the host, and we talk about restaurants we've been to here in Charlotte. We discuss meals that Roderick has cooked. Roderick does spicy news where he covers different things in the
All kinds of food news.
Yeah, the food world, and we also do feet. We call it Feet Smack, where we you guys left on the previous episode. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's a fun time, and we had a good time doing it last night, and hopefully your people check it out and they leave comments, and we enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
The official weapon of the show is
Chair.
an unofficial sport,
What about?
and bullet ball extreme. And today's show is gonna be kind of all over the place because I'm just high and I feel like just talking. Okay, so y'all have to deal with it. But there's all kinds of stuff to talk about. First things first, I do want to say rest in peace to James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I had seen it earlier before we recorded last week with Keith. I just happened to be. I turned the channel on, and I guess the channel was kind of preset on like a news channel. You must. I don't know if I was watching it or you watching it, but I was like, "What is that?" They had a picture in their face, and I started reading across the screen. I was like,
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, people are gonna pass, but it was still like, "Oh no," because he's literally been alive all my life. He's been old all my life.
Yeah, I got a bunch of alerts on my phone, and you know he was a major player in the game because it wasn't like I got the alert from one source. I got this alert from so many sources.
Oh yeah,
Like it was like People, Daily Mail, the such and such, everybody was like, Game Informer, like it just like Kotaku, like everybody was like, he was so impactful. So I did want to start off with that, and of course, recipes to Rich Homie Quan, who passed. He's a rapper, Karen.
okay.
But he passed.
I've heard that name
too.
before.
Yeah, so man,
Mm-hmm.
getting old, deaf. All right, so like I said, I just had random stuff to talk about, but do you have any banter, Karen? Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna count this as banter, partially because everyone loves the song, including us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any banter? 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 Talk to me. So, do you have any banter? This person asked a question on Twitter, and it was one of those things where just people quote tweet the answer, and it was like, what's something that people romanticize but in real life is actually pretty bad? And I answered this yesterday with violent revolution. And so to me, I think it's kind of almost self-explanatory, kind of obvious, no need to really explain it, right? I don't know which part of bot leftist Twitter got hold of it today, but I was on my way to the gym. My phone was just like, just notifications were coming up, not like notifications, but whenever I logged into Twitter, it was like, you got 20 plus new replies or whatever. I was like, what the fuck happened? And so I guess someone retweeted it that enough of the social media bot type people
Got a
follow them or
hold of it.
something, right? And so people were trying to be snarky and come back, like, as opposed to all the peaceful revolutions. Can you name them? I'll wait. I was like, I'm not even sure you understood what my point was, if
They
that's what
didn't.
your answer was, because I'm not, I'm not, I didn't actually decry the revolution or whatever, just saying that people romanticize them. But if you cover history, it is, if you live through any of that shit, it's not something that's just cute. It's not a slogan. It's not
Right.
just something you put on a t-shirt and say revolution. When you see those those logos of Che Guevara and stuff, like that was real. That was not just some, like, a cute little thing that you say. And so I was, to me it's kind of obvious, but a couple people were like, what do you mean by that? Or I hate when people say that or whatever. And I replied to a couple of people. Now I will mention only a couple people. And the point being, I don't know how many, because it went super viral, so I don't know how many dozens or hundreds of people did reply to me, because as I'm always telling y'all, I don't know those people. Many of them I can't even, on Elon Musk's Twitter, I can't justify if they're even real.
Agreed.
I replied to a couple of people, and they were only people that I had followers in common with. And but honestly, with both of those people I replied to, I thought about it later. They didn't have a picture of themselves as their only one of them had a picture of themselves as a thing. The other person had like a meme. That could be a bot. That might not be a person. I don't mean to be a dick about it.
Right.
I know people probably think I'm being paranoid. I promise you I'm not. You cannot, especially when something goes viral and people are saying the same thing over and over, you can't know that those are people if 75% of them have anime avatars.
Right.
And that's all they talk about all day.
Right. Dog avatars, cat avatars.
Yeah. You click on the thing and they're just, yeah. So anyway, my point being, a violent revolution isn't necessarily something romanticized, and people only, if you think that, it's because you lived too good for too long. Our country has not had a true violent overthrowing of something or attempted overthrow that involved a lot of people since the Civil War, probably.
Right.
And I don't mean individual here and there. Even running up on a Capitol building where you had like a couple thousand people, that's not even what I'm talking about. Violent revolution, what it would take to overthrow the American government or whatever, that shit ain't cute. And the people in countries that have gone through that, they don't, you notice they don't joke about, like, they're not walking around like, yeah, it was so fun. It destabilizes stuff. And many of these people, the reason I say they romanticize it as opposed to take it seriously, one, many of them are just chronically online. They don't own the guns. They don't start a militia. They don't have a plan. It's all just snarky tweets at whoever's in charge expense and making people feel bad on Twitter about shit. You got, every level of like pronoun and virtue signaling thing in your bio. And I'm not saying that as a mocking term. I mean, literally, these are nice people is my point. Like, if anything, maybe they're mean nice people in that they're snarky about when other people aren't nice, but they're not mean in the way of like they gonna make you fucking be nice to people. Like, when's the last time you've been in a fist fight? Do you even own a gun?
Right.
Have you used it? Have you killed someone? That's what a revolution is. Right. You don't have to. And the idea that everyone's coming home from that's on your side is one of the things that I always laugh about and mock whenever I see a movie. No offense to this movie, because I love the movie, but like Hunger Games, the movies by nature of being movies have to make those things look neat. Like, not neat like cool, but neat like it's not too messy. Like Game of Thrones is not too messy. It's like they're not going to sit there and show you all the painstaking, agonizing death of normal people,
right?
Because they're just background fodder to these dragon riders, right? But in real life, you won't leave the house without a mask because of COVID. You're not the violent revolutionary. In America, if there is an element of that, they're the people who actually believe the opposite of you, and you don't have anything that can stop them. So, like, The government is literally protecting your ass. The government they tried to run up on January 6th is literally the only fucking thing stopping them from fucking you up. Because if it wasn't for the laws and whatever's in place in America, I can't speak for other countries, those people would run roughshod over our side. We are nice. We're anti-gun. Many of us don't own them. We're anti-violence. We try to find peaceful solution. And I know what you're saying. Yes, you listening are the most badass, fierce, impossible white man motherfucker. You will whoop anyone's ass. You got all the guns. In general, if you did a per capita, like who got the guns, it's not our side. And it's to the point where like there are more guns in America than people. So many of these people just own gun after gun after gun, not one gun for self-defense ass niggas like us. Anyway, my point being, yeah, you are romanticizing it. And the people were trying to be glib with me. It was so funny because I'm like, you're doing it. You can't even see you being snarky is doing it. If you're serious about it and you're not just wistfully talking about how easy or just overthrow, eat the rich or whatever, you just be offline doing it. You wouldn't be, what would my tweet changing my opinion matter? I'm a nigga on Twitter with no power. What would it matter to you? So yeah, it was I just thought that was such an interesting thing. Like I said, I counted as banner, but it's so random.
I'm glad you brought this up because I agree. I 100% agree with you, and I think about this too. Because it's one of those things where when people say that, I go, "Oh, you've never talked to somebody that's been to a war. You've never talked to your older family members that were alive doing Jim Crow laws." You've never really had to deal with that. You have been so blessed and so privileged in this country that you never really had to think about life and death and things like this. And I understand, every time you send your child to school, it is life and death because it's like a war. Don't get me wrong. But no. I'm talking about when shit don't function. I'm talking about when you hear about other parts of the world where all of a sudden it's a government, tomorrow it could be another government, tomorrow it could be another government because it's a consistent change. We're talking about that. We're talking about places where depending on what's happening, your rules and regulations can change. I'm talking about destabilization. You can't get food, you can't get medication, you can't go to school, you can't do shit because it's fucking chaos. And me particularly, I've always thought about this because as a Black person, I know the only thing that's keeping me alive in this country are the rules and regulations of the federal government. I know this and I understand that because you have people on the other side, they fucking hate that I exist because every time they look at my Black ass, I remind them of slavery. I remind them of them boats. I remind them of them cotton fields. I remind them they have guns because they're afraid that at any moment, Black and brown people, us and particularly Indians could raise up and be like, hey, dog, you fucking did this and it's time for payment. It's time to cash that check. And I really do believe that's why most white people that own guns have it for that reason. This fear, a lot of that fear is the fear of that, in my personal opinion.
I think it's so interesting also because our side judges the other side for their unrealistic views on violent revolution. But we've had violent revolutionaries in America. We've had them. Dylan Roof, Tim McVeigh, the January 6ers. So it was funny how people missed that because online in both spaces, they honestly are deluded and they traffic in this like revolutionary speak that isn't really real. So I just find it to be so embarrassingly silly.
Yeah.
It's like if you were taking it for real, that's one thing. But if you were taking it for real, you're not on Twitter. You're not, you know what you're not doing if you're this violent revolution that you swear is coming and you're gonna be part of or whatever. Because you expect someone else to do the fighting and someone else to do the dying. You don't think it's gonna be you.
Agreed.
It's that dude that said, fuck the police. burned the city down, and then they got up the street from his house, and then he said, "Where are the police?" And we saw him tweet that shit in real time. And it's like, right, because y'all can't live that, because it's a theory to you,
Right.
but when it's real life, you don't got it. And here's why I'm so adamantly talking about this, because this probably feels like a non-problem to most people, but I can't help but see this relationship. These are the motherfuckers who won't vote.
Right.
Something far easier.
Much easier.
These are the people who won't have any feasible solution. They won't be part of anything feasible because they're waiting on the violent revolution that they snark their way through. That while they're spending time on Twitter correcting people's like non-PC language and shit, while you're upset and mad that people are having events where they're not masked up and it's the DNC and you're like, it's gonna be a COVID super spreader. I'm like, you might be absolutely right, but you ain't got the heart to be out here killing motherfuckers that disagree with you.
Right. And
you're not gonna take on the government. So why the fuck is everybody saying that shit? It's silly and it's a waste of time. And y'all keep patting yourselves on the back like you believe it.
And like you
as if, you know, and it's not even like there's abstract thinkers where they're like, love is the revolution or hope and change and radical. They're not even saying that. They literally like, no, it's gonna be guns and motherfuckers gonna get murdered and y'all gonna see what we talking. And it's like, you're not gonna do shit. So just shut the fuck up with that lie. So yeah, I find it to be childish. And so it just made me think of that, because I wasn't even saying this to start some conversation or to argue with people, which is why I muted everything. I actually don't want to. I said what I said. There's never gonna be an exchange we can have on Twitter that will make me go, oh wait, that's what y'all meant. Because I've thought about it, and you if you're just replying with some sarcastic snarky shit, you haven't. So yeah, it's interesting.
Right. And also is one of those things where they're just talking and I can't take people like that seriously, you know, because when they go stop the revolution, I was like, well, you shoot first. You go die first.
Yeah.
Sacrifice your family
go
first.
Be a Crispus Attucks ass motherfucker.
You don't want to do that? Well, then shut the fuck up.
Other stuff I want to talk about. So Stephen A. Smith. Well, first of all, that's not where to start with this. To start with this, first of all, NFL is back. And you know it was back because the first thing that happened before any snap of a game on Sunday, Tyreek Hill got arrested.
I heard that. What was behind that?
So they said it sounded like they're saying he was speeding, and they said he was evading or not cooperating. So they got him out of his car. They arrested him, put him in handcuffs. Or no, they detained him. They didn't arrest him. Put him in handcuffs. It looks like a cop might have punched him while he was just standing there. Yeah. And people are pointing out the obvious things, like the owner of the Dolphins is a Trump supporter who Trump believes police should have immunity for the kind of shit they did to Tyreek Hill. Now Tyreek Hill showed up, played in the game, because he's a real Ricky Jarrett from Ballers ass motherfucker. Showed up to the game, played well, scored a touchdown. Celebration was getting handcuffed.
That's hilarious.
Just honestly, the NFL is too good to be true sometimes.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's why it's the best. I don't like, it's why people love it the most, because that everything about what I just said is wrong as fuck.
Yes, it is.
This was a very serious thing. You could have got killed.
Yes, sir.
The cops were like on him. You know what I mean? They were physically accosting him. And he's like, fuck, I got an hour to get to the game so I can play. And he gets to the game, scores a touchdown. Celebration is they arrested me. Ha ha, you can't what? But the police are coming out and they're saying, of course, we did the right thing.
Of course.
He was being uncooperative, and so we had to do it. And we redirected it to the. I'm like, we saw the video of a dude literally come and knock him to the ground while he was just standing there. But he said he was driving in a way that put himself and others in great dangers, blah, blah, blah. So that's not really the news of this. Although that's interesting. Stephen A. Smith on Twitter said this story with the police involving Tyreek Hill ain't going away, damn it. Traffic violation, fine. But what the hell was he the face down and cut? Oh, sorry. This story with the this story with the police officer involving Tyreek Hill, it ain't going away, damn it. Traffic violation, fine. But what the hell was he doing in cuffs stood up? Then the other officer runs over behind him and forces him to the ground again. Hell no. Excessive. Wrong. Again, this ain't going away. And so we currently don't have ESPN.
We don't, because they fucking want to fall out with the cable company.
So, and I know Stephen A is famously referred to by many people as all kinds of sellout. I don't necessarily agree. Mm-mm. I think he's a complicated man.
Right. Like
I don't think he's always right. I think he's more conservative than you would hope that a brother like that would be. Partially because he's contrarian, partially because he's a wild card. But it's not as cut and dry as just he's a coon.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Right.
Okay.
It's not.
And I'm sure, I mean, this is a dude that has not liked some stuff I said about him, but at the end of the day, I got as much right to my opinion and I said to his face, like I'd say it to anyone else. Like, it's not, if he can't deal with a disagreement or difference of opinion, that's fine. But I don't find it to be, I didn't call him out his name. Anyway, I didn't get to see him talk about this is my point. I wanted to see it on ESPN. I tried to log in through the app. They was like, nope, you using that Uverse motherfucking internet. We know, nigga. You can't watch it. And I had to make up what he must have said in my head. So this is what I think he said. Y'all let me know if I was close. I'm a big fan of the Miami PD, including Miami Vice. Shout out to Crockett, Tubbs, and them boys. I respect Mike Lowry, Marcus Burnett. You know, with all due respect, them brothers right there. They're some bad boys. However, with all that being said, what the police did today was egregious. I am disgusted. And damn it, I'm going to talk about it. Is that what he said to open first take this morning? Y'all let me know.
That's what I'm assuming he said.
If he did, just thumbs up in the chat if I was close, because I imagine that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other thing, someone left a comment on YouTube, and normally I let these wait until Saturday so we do our feedback.
Okay.
But I want to talk about it on the air because it's about the show.
Okay. What about it?
Our girl Crystal says, I'm a repeater when explaining something. Because I said Karen is a repeater.
Yes, I am. I'm a repeater.
And she had that banter yesterday about wanting to skip through conversations to make them more efficient. And I was like, you sure? Because you like to say stuff more than once.
And feel like this, and I am not as bad as I used to be. I still do it though. Not as much as I used to. But I had to think about where that repeating myself was coming from. Like it comes from somewhere. It don't come out of nowhere. I realized that that basically came. I'm a talkative ass kid. Like I talk everybody to death when I was a kid, and nobody would ever listen to me when I was a kid. So I would constantly repeat myself because I assume motherfuckers would never listen to me because a lot of times they wouldn't. I would be saying stuff as a kid. I would know what I was talking about, but they would diss me because I was a child. You know, sometimes kids be right and parents dismiss them because the kids be in the parents' ass about you doing something wrong and you have pride and you don't want to admit that you might have been wrong and apologize and all that other bullshit. And I do really think that that's where that stems from me not being heard as a child.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that, but you know, as any rate, you know, at any rate, that's my saying. When we had these conversations on the air and stuff, you know, we're mostly just talking and joking. We're happy behind the scenes and everything, so it's not really a big deal to us. But someone, of course, wrote in and they said, as a repeater when explaining something, Rod, do you acknowledge what Karen has said? I normally repeat when I'm not sure if the other person heard me. Nod, give me something. For instance, Rod, sometimes when Karen is talking, you sit back and pause, then you lean forward and start back at your last point like she didn't say anything. Laugh my ass off. I pays attention, LOL.
They got their eye on you, sir.
I also hate my HP printer. If someone asks if I have a printer to print something for them, I say no. I can't stress myself out, right? And my printer, it repeats itself every day.
Yeah, Gus. We
about
we
that
just muted so we
about,
can't hear
about that damn paper.
it.
But I'm glad she brought it up. Okay, because I like talking about our show and what goes into it. And I did reply back to her. And no, nothing snarky. This is not mean. She wasn't being mean. Nothing
Right.
like this is all genuine, like
Mm-hmm.
just talking. I said, so I'm glad you brought this up. In these personal offline conversations, I normally do respond to let her know that I heard her,
Mm-hmm.
but she still repeats herself.
I do.
And after 30 plus years with a proven track record of listening to her,
Yes.
she knows I'm listening.
Yes, I do.
So I don't know what to tell you.
I know this.
After 30 years, I've tried everything. I've just gotten to a point where at least I can be honest,
right?
And I'm never mean about it, but I can be honest in the moments and be like, "You already told me this,"
and then I'll be like, "Oh, okay," and then I just go on. And also, I'm not even gonna lie. One of the reasons why I fell in love with Roderick was because he listened to me. I remember years ago, I think this even may have been before we started dating. Me and you, we was talking about something, and you repeated something that I had said, and I made a mental note. I said, "Oh, he actually heard me and listened to me, and actually remembered what I said, and brought it back up in another conversation." I was like, "Oh, okay, there's something special about you," because I know I'm a talkative ass bitch. I motherfucking talk, paint off the goddamn wall. I talkity talk.
And Karen loves to talk, and I've said this on the show, but I love a lot of stuff about Karen, but I love she fills up space, and I'm a person that I minimize a lot of my space. I'm fine being small. I don't need to be big and out in the world and be seen and shit. And the other thing is I can be honest, so we can, like, she doesn't get too defensive normally. Although she is a fiery cauldron of rage, y'all just don't see that. But I can say, you did this thing, and Karen is so herself that she's like, yeah, I did do that thing, or and she's not. It's not like she's gonna stop. Like, it's like if I say, like, every time we go to this restaurant, we end up talking to this waiter for 25 minutes and we don't get our food on time because he want to talk to you about anime. And she'll acknowledge that is happening, and then she goes and does the shit again.
I sure will.
And I can't. What am I gonna say? I still want to go there, and I still take her with me. I'm not sneaking out by myself to avoid the conversation. So you just kind of does. Everyone has quirks and idiosyncrasies, and so you acknowledge those things. I think also there's a lot of stuff that is from Karen's childhood and anxiety and stuff that she has that expresses itself in, completely. She'd rather ask me 5 times the thing than forget to ask once. It just is. And she doesn't think to herself, like, at least I don't notice that it's. Well, I think I already asked him this, so I'm not gonna do it. It's like she'll just come up and say it as if we've never had a conversation.
Yes, and you know what? I know for a fact that stems from childhood.
Yeah,
and I know this stems from childhood. I love my mama, my aunt that raised me. I love her very dearly. She is terrible with instructions. Terrible. She'll go tell you to do something. Won't tell you how to do it. You fuck it up, and then she blames you. And I'm looking at her like, no. See, as a kid, I didn't have the words. I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know how to tell her that if you would have laid it out for me, you would have gotten it exactly like you wanted. Just, I can't read your mind. Don't make no assumption that I knew what you was talking about. I'm a child. You are an adult. Your thought process is bigger and wider than mine. So explain to me what you want done in details. Like, I am a very detail-oriented person when it comes to that. Tell me step by step. Write it out if you got to. Give me a book, a memo, whatever you need to do if you want these things right. And because I'm like that, I will ask a lot of times the questions that most people are ashamed, or they don't want to feel stupid. Like, we're being meetings and people use big. I'm like, what is that? And then somebody else like, yeah, I had that same question. Right, because they're using these words, and then they're going to come back and assume that you know what they're talking about, and you really don't. So when they start kind of being like, okay, we've covered this, you're going to look stupid because you didn't ask the questions. And so for me, because my mama kind of made me like that, made me kind of that fearful place where I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, and it makes me panic. So no, you're gonna get asked 5 times to be sure you give me the same answer 5 times to be sure that I have it right. And I know that don't make no sense, but it makes me feel comfortable.
I didn't say it didn't make sense. I'm shaking my head, smiling. I know we're gonna get into this part of it too, but yeah. So Karen has these anxieties and stuff from when she was a kid, and it doesn't matter that it's been 30 years, and I should not. I should be exempt from this bullshit, right? I've listened. I get it the first time. I get it right. I don't need to be told 5 times, but at some point, she needs the. It's like when someone said people ask you. They ask people all the time, and people been in relationships where they be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I think a lot of people do that. I do that. I'm one of these people. And it won't be that necessarily anything's wrong. It's something could be wrong, something could not be, but you just, are you okay? I forget who said it, but there was like, because people just like to hear that everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you ask them 5 times, are they okay? And of course they could be getting annoyed. They're like, what the fuck, nigga? 5 times? It's been 5 minutes. But what it is you're having anxiety, and someone just had, because of how conversation worked, they were just forced to say, yeah, I'm okay, everything's okay 5 times, and now you're like, okay, everything's okay. But so Karen has a lot of that, but that whole thing is personal conversations. You don't really hear that on the air.
Mm-mm.
So like, cause Karen doesn't really repeat herself on the air that much. Like, we got a purpose and we talking about shit, and I'm conducting this bitch from the back, like we moving on. So that I hate podcasts that just repeat themselves.
Get the moving, bitch.
If it happens, it happens normally by accident, but that's the thing. So but for those that are fans and nerds about this podcast, and you want to hear the inner workings of why our podcast sounds like it sounds,
right?
I thought I answered these questions for you. So I said, number one, we're making audio podcast first and foremost. So because she says sometimes you lean back and you don't say anything, and then you come back and get to your point as if Karen is not really acknowledging what Karen just said, right? And so I said, we're an audio podcast first and foremost. That's how we started. People couldn't see us.
Mm-mm.
And we're not really a video podcast. Like, we don't have a producer and all that stuff.
Right.
This could look a lot cleaner if they took me off screen when Karen's talking, vice versa. We could use Zoom and do something, but I prefer that y'all get the raw audio. It's less work for me.
Agreed.
The raw video. Anyway, so I said, when you see me lean back like that, when Karen's going on something, it's because I'm giving her a clean audio space to express herself uninterrupted without a lot of me trying to interject a thought or cut her off or make her lose her place. And if y'all will pay, if you say you pays attention, so if you really pay attention, if you're really paying attention,
I do that damn all the time.
That is often Karen interrupting me.
Yes.
And then she goes on a jag. Now, behind the scenes, and maybe even on the air a few times, but I've often told her, go ahead and interrupt me.
Yeah, like, I used to didn't.
Just interrupt me. It's fine. But it's real life. It's a conversation. It is normally interrupting my train of thought so she can interject her own. So when you see me physically push myself back like that, lean back like that, that's just a physical what's happening in my brain, which is, Rod, lean back. She's saying her thing. Let her get this entire thing out. I am listening, for the record.
Yes.
But I'm doing 2 things at once, sometimes 3 things. 1, I'm listening. 2, I'm trying to hold on to the train of thought she interrupted. So I know some listeners out there were following whatever my train of thought is. Y'all know how I talk. Well, there's 7 things about that. 1, 2, and then Karen can interrupt me at 2. I need to come back to 3. You see what I'm saying? So she got to do her thing. I can't always go back at her point or add on to it at the moment because I'll lose the other thing. But also, and this is going to really shock people, sometimes she just says a complete thought and I don't have anything to add. It's like, that's right. Or that's how she feels. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a thing to like piggyback on because she said what she said and she's good at saying exactly how she feels about a thing and moving on, right? So I'm trying to hold on my train of thought so I can continue back to where we were. And then I hop back on as if like, boom, she said her thing. We You're the audience. You acknowledge it. We all heard that. Here's what I was gonna say for thing number 3, and that's before you even get into how many times she interrupts me to try to add, like, to jump to the conclusion where I was going, and she's just completely wrong.
You're wrong.
And sometimes I have to let her do that, even though I have to wait for her to get it all out for me to be like, I wasn't gonna say that. So what I was gonna say is this. Now that doesn't mean her point isn't valid. It's just not my point. It's a total different point. And I said, so she's not being rude. I've asked her to interrupt and interject whenever she needs, so that we have a more conversational flow. The other reason is I am sensitive to the idea of, I listen to a lot of podcasts, many of them men and women on it. Bane of my existence are these podcasts where men just keep fucking cutting off women and won't let them fucking talk. Like, a woman get half a sentence out, here they come again with they long ass soliloquy and shit. I speak very long, verbose shit. So I have to allow that space for Karen to do the same fucking thing. And if anything, I'd rather her err on the side of cutting me off and we get back to my long shit than me cutting her off all the time. So a lot of times I'm physically leaning back to be like, shut the fuck up, nigga. You don't need to say nothing. This a woman is speaking, let her get her complete thought out. You'll see when we have guests on, a lot of times I have to make space to be like, oh, Karen, because she's a little weirdly too polite, but not really, where she'll won't interrupt the other people, but let them interrupt her and just stop talking. It's a woman thing, I think, just patriarchal society. And so sometimes I'll be like, and also Karen was gonna say, or you'll notice a lot of times when we're guests on shows, Karen almost rushes in to finish off my sentence, even if it's not really finished off my sentence, but it's the one place where she can get space among a bunch of men to start her sentence, to start her thing. So like sometimes I'll be trying to make a joke or something, and she'll cut me off, and it fucks up the punchline timing, but it's so she can say her joke without having to wait for like a completely empty space, because those are like the only times Karen feels comfortable like really jumping out there with a joke. Is it's got to be like a complete, I think you just dream in complete open empty spaces of perfect jokes, and it's just like, no, you just throw it in there.
Yes, and over the years I've gotten better, particularly going on with Randolph and Andy. I've gotten better about kind of jumping in and being a lot more aggressive than I used to be, because I'm a part of the show too, and people want to hear my opinion, and people want to hear, my voice too. And so I've actually, Roger will tell you.
Yeah, I know you've gotten better, but also it is mostly at my quote unquote expense. I'm putting that in quotes. I don't feel that it's like you wouldn't do that to Randolph or Andy where they're saying something and you just kind of jump in and go, cut that point off. Let me tell you my point. But you do it to me partially because I'm a man you can trust that doesn't get offended by it, and I've asked you to do it. It's not a problem. But I'm sure there's people that listen to this product, they don't even know why they like certain things so much. But it's almost because most of the time you never hear me cut Karen off, and when someone is cut off, it's normally me being cut off. In a patriarchal society, I'm sure that bothers some dudes or whatever. But in general, there's probably a lot of people that listen and like, I don't know what it is I'm hearing, but I like how they talk to each other. It's because we try to operate a little bit opposite. That being said, I'm getting better about, like, because Karen's gotten so vocal now at this point, if I jump in a point with her or something, I don't feel so bad. Like, I don't do it a lot, but now it's a little more conversational. It's not completely like over and out. And third, sometimes because I'm producing the podcast as well as hosting things, they just slip through the cracks.
Yeah, and sometimes because, Roger behind the scenes, Roger's brain is ticking. He's recording, you're doing video, you're trying to do the podcast, and you're trying to move us on to the next topic. So a lot of times I quietly in the background just randomly just put out jokes and say jokes, and you can see the people in the chat room start laughing. They're like, I get it. A lot of times Roger will catch it after the fact. Or either, somebody else will point out, I was like, oh yeah, that's funny, because his brain is kind of ticking a little differently.
Yeah. And also, like, there's multiple things happening. It happens with Karen too, where she's reading something or looking at something and I'm saying something, and it's like, this is just part of what we do. It's only human. But I understand it's very gender coded because men are the ones that typically don't listen to women.
Right.
So it's, I can see how someone would be like, well, sometimes you don't catch it right away, or you don't, hear what she said, or maybe just maybe you're not listening to her. I promise I'm listening. But yeah, even with that, man, woman, whatever, I'm gonna still mess up sometimes because every human being, you skip something. But that's also why I try to ask questions when I miss something, because I'm like, wait a minute, what about this, or what about that?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Karen gets defensive about it. Sometimes she doesn't. It just depends, because going back to the childhood thing, I think sometimes you try to hedge me off at the past of like what you think I'm gonna say, or think I'm a like some issue I'm gonna point out or something. And sometimes it's right, but a lot of times it's like, that's not. I don't have an problem with what you said. I made a face because I was ready to talk, but then you were talking, so then I made another face to be like, let me shut the fuck up. And you think I this because I'm about to say something about your comment, and I'm not. But I said thank you for paying such close attention. And also that I could be better performatively in how I listen, because it is a video product now at this point. But the amount of work it would take to do that and try to actually produce the show, I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. It's the reason why you see like a Joe Budden podcast or so many famous people podcasts. It's two people on a couch, microphones that are put into their clothing, cameras, multiple shoots. They have a producer. They have someone that does research off screen normally, even if they have a laptop in front of them. We don't have that. So for me, I'm doing all that, is what I'm saying. So it's a little harder for it to just be a conversation that where I could be like, I need to be making eye contact with Karen and the camera,
almost like a talk
and I
show.
need to be like, yes. Whereas if I wasn't doing any of the producing shit, I could give y'all that. Now what's funny is it would still be performative because I'm listening. I'm listening when I'm making that face, and I'm leaning back too. And lastly, she said, after I answered, that makes so much sense. I prefer to watch versus listen. If I had an option, I like to see the interaction. My husband has asked me so many times to say things one time, but I just can't help myself. Also, I love you on Karen Hunter. Well, thank you, Crystal. And you gave us an opportunity to talk about that on the show. These are conversations we kind of have behind the scenes a lot of times about how to make the show better, or whatever.
Yeah, we do. And like I said, it's one of those things where over the years I have came a long way. I know it might sound funny, but for a long time I didn't even think the audience was listening to me until the audience started writing in. Like, y'all literally build up my confidence. Y'all was writing in, and I was like, oh, they're actually listening to what I was saying. And it actually gave me a lot of confidence to kind of be like, oh, okay, to speak up and voice my opinion, because there used to be times, I don't do it anymore. Well, not as much anymore, where we used to have a show and get off, and I would still have things that I want to say, and I would be literally talking to Roger off the mic, and I'd be like, you could have said this on the show.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, I guess, okay. Because like I said before, I really didn't understand the concept of podcasting and what it was and what it would evolve into, because we've been doing this for so long. And so now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and it is what it is. You either like it or you don't, And also over the years, I've grown and evolved and have more confidence, in myself and things like that. And also, I am stronger in, I don't want to say arguing, but I'm stronger in, if I have an opinion and we don't agree, I can explain myself to the point where you have better understanding. I remember this happened a long time ago. It was me, you, and Justin. I think this may have been on Balls Deep or pregame. It was like years ago. We was having a discussion about people getting like food stamps or something like that, and there was something about regulations on, and I was like, no, there should not be any regulations on what people buy with their food. And we were talking about that, and by the end y'all was like, oh, okay, because I was adamant about, no, that doesn't make sense. If you give me something, I ought to be able to go into the grocery store and buy any fucking thing I want in that bitch. There should be no rules and regulations on what I purchase.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes a while for people to learn that. And I just think that was something you learned on the fly in front of everybody. But yeah, that's the stuff that goes into the dynamics behind the scenes with the podcast. So, so then of course, whenever some random motherfucker comes on here and be like, I don't like the way he talks to her. This is why I'm like, it's almost laughable, because I'm like, there's no one on this fucking earth that's thought more about what it looks like to talk to my wife in front of y'all niggas than us. It's literally impossible. You just got here. Chill out. I'm sorry, whatever happened to you. Okay, but that's not what's happening over here.
Right, and also,
if anything, she's beating me. Okay, there, I said it. I need help. I'm just
blink
kidding.
twice.
Just kidding, everybody.
And I think for me, I've kind of learned how to talk without raising my voice. I'm still loud, y'all. Y'all still know I'm loud. Like, I'm loud, but I am loud. I am a loud.
You just said that.
I am a loud ass bitch.
What? But talk without raising your voice. Get the fuck out of here. If fish don't need water no more, just what point were you gonna try to lie about everybody?
How can I say this? I don't know how to explain it, but like this, I am better at it.
Okay. No,
by half of a percentage.
No, you're not. You just say anything to these people. No, you're not. You can't. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just people have to get used to it. You're not. You're very. That's why you're such a great orator or whatever. Is because you put it. Even if you're just saying like, oh, they put too much salt in this thing. It's gonna come out like it's
very aggressive,
like a line in a Tyler Perry script. Like, who wrote this?
And I think it bothers people. But like I said, me and my fucking childhood.
Nah, just be yourself. That's why they watch. That's why they like this.
Yes, I'm like, you gonna hear me.
In other news, what was I gonna talk about? There was some more news. Let me go back to my save articles. Oh yeah. So this whole Kendrick's doing halftime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
We talked about it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm ready. Let's go.
It was a lovely announcement.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of shady about it. I
shit.
think I could pull it up on Twitter to show y'all the video, but this motherfucker is so goddamn petty. Oh yeah, it's on YouTube. All right, I'm gonna put it on screen so we can watch it as a family. This motherfucker is so petty for this. God, I love him.
There you go. Give me one more.
That's him using the machine that pitches out football so someone like a wide receiver can practice catching.
Okay.
Now obviously there's probably no real wide receiver out there. Shit, Noah Kendrick, Randy Moss catching that shit. I don't know. But this is all just preamble.
Come on. 2 more. Just like that. You ready? Exactly. What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. Will you be?
There's a huge American flag in the background.
Big ass flag.
And let me tell you something. That is definitely a They Not Like Us reference. To me, that is yo Canadian ass. I know you see this too. I know you want to bet $1 billion on the game like you always do, you loser ass nigga. Well, bet it after the motherfucking halftime show when I'm up on there, bitch. But yeah, that's the subtext of that flag.
Pulling up? I hope so. You know, it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get.
No round twos. That's fucking hilarious.
And we just covered that Drake had posted and deleted that Instagram where it was talking about the game, something about like winning a rematch or game 2 or some shit like that, or whatever it was some allusion to like I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep talking my shit about Kendrick. That was just part 1 of the battle, which is so pathetic for this loser. Because you mean the battle you lost in, right? Because why the fuck would the winner want a round 2? That's not how that works at all, Playboy. Just admit that you lost, bro. Just admit you took that L and slide your ass out of there with them Helen Hunt ass pants in some fucking in a
gonna float away,
right? In a movie that indie movie with leaves on the cover. Just admit that you just ain't built for this and you should move the fuck on, bro. That's all it would have took. Disappear for a few months, come back. We'll remember. Keep making me dance, waving my hands. It won't be no threats. But no. So Kendrick with that round 2 shit, definitely a shot at Drake, 100%. Because it's the Super Bowl. No need to say that.
We need to win a championship. No round tools. Let's get it. Boom. I won't want you to miss it. Meet me in New Orleans, February 9th, 2025. Wear your best dress too, even if you're watching from home. Let's go.
Your best dress.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
These ad libs also are ad libs he used on the diss songs, by the way. Boom. Yeah. This motherfucker.
Now we can get to it for real. Come on, you gotta make sure you catching with the hands open like that. We running real routes. You gonna be messing up.
So yeah. So the conversation, of course, shifted to something that negative because it is Twitter, it is social media, and it's going to trend towards negative. So it couldn't just be us all celebrating this cultural touchstone moment.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Of Kendrick Lamar taking the Drake hate from the years long. I can't imagine what is more of a pinnacle. Okay. This is like the Mount Everest of hate. To hate on a nigga to the Super Bowl when the song that started all this, what were J. Cole and Drake saying? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. Right. And first person shooter, they started with big as the Super Bowl. It's actually gotten as big as the Super Bowl.
Literally.
Fucking with the wrong one. I can't. So the Super Bowl, of course, takes place in what month? February.
Yes.
Black History Month.
Yes.
They not like us. They not like it's and so of course I do think you're hardcore like Colin Kaepernick. I don't even watch football. Those people will not like this, but it's been over for them. I think and I said it at the time, and I wrote a whole thing about it for game theory. Everyone was mad because Jay-Z was right. When he said we were past kneeling,
that's a true statement.
It was taken in the worst, most offensive possible way possible, but he was right. A lot of people owe him an apology.
They do.
Because y'all have since acted accordingly to what he said what y'all were going to do. And we ain't kneeling no more. Y'all watching for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, handful of holdouts that will be forever righteous and will never, come off of that.
That's a small percentage.
Because they equate admitting that with saying like thinking you're against Kaepernick, which I don't agree, but he was right.
Mm-hmm.
He was right. So what I think is kind of interesting on this though is that people started this online kind of campaign and it kind of blossomed into a bigger thing where people wanted Lil Wayne to be the halftime performer because the game is in New Orleans. And they want like some sort of, acknowledgement of the New Orleans hip hop scene. Keep in mind that Beyonce also performed in New Orleans. Like that's the one where the power went out.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was talking about how come so-and-so ain't out. We was like, yeah, because it's Beyonce, nigga, shut up. This is a huge moment. Obviously, it must have been planned out because they don't ask these things on a whim.
Mm-mm.
It sounds like maybe Lil Wayne and his people was trying to get something, and because they chose Kendrick instead of them, they tried to make a stink online about it. Hopefully, it just stays like some online. They mad, but it'll go away. Shit. But of course, because it's a grievance, people on social media try to pick up that torch and act like it matters. And it turned into something ugly that I don't think it needs to turn into, but it turned into everybody being like, Lil Wayne is a fucking drug using, forget his lyrics ass, definitely not as big as deal as Kendrick is today in 2024 rapper. And I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, but now we got they pulled out They pulled out the clip on Lil Wayne, Karen. Okay.
Oh no.
They went and did the research. They dug in the vaults.
Oh, I know they did.
They went and found.
Yeah, because they ain't got nothing but time and they petty though.
And you don't need to do Oppo research. Like I'm the biggest Kendrick fan anybody knows. And I don't need the Oppo research. All I gotta say is just no, that's ridiculous. If you can have Kendrick or Lil Wayne, you go with Kendrick.
Yes, you would.
The Super Bowl is never, I shouldn't say never. It has rarely been about a hometown star putting on for the city.
Rarely.
Very rarely. Like the people just do not be from where the show is. Like I think it's happened one time.
This is the person we pick, and this is where they performing. Like who? Nobody gives a fuck. We don't plan it out like that.
Yeah, I think it happened like one time, and so it's a Twitter thing that they came up with. But Karen, when I tell you, they really went and emptied. They found the clip on this boy. Okay. I'm gonna pull this up and show y'all. This one I say it went too far. Cause even I, as a person that picks on Lil Wayne for his stance on race, I didn't go get the clip. They went and found the clip.
Fox Sports when he said he personally doesn't see racism because so many of his fans are white.
I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism.
There was a lot of backlash.
He was talking to Skip Bayless right there, by the way.
From people about that. Would you change it, what you said, or
No,
you still
not
feel
at
the same way? What's your thought on Black Lives Matter?
What is it? What do you mean?
The idea is that there's this movement called Black Lives Matter, thinking that the rest of America didn't seem to understand that Black Lives Matter.
It just sounds weird. I didn't know that you put a name on it. It's not a name. It's not whatever. It's somebody got shot by police for a reason. I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands Black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matter, especially to my.
Do you separate yourself from it?
I don't feel connected to a damn thing that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you do, you crazy. You connected to this flag right. Because I'm connected. I'm a gangbanger, man. I'm connected.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the NFL did their research and was like, no.
But also just, that's so petty that they went and found that clip. That is so fucking petty. Because that don't have nothing to do with the Super Bowl halftime.
He did them shits years ago too, right?
But it's just so funny that they went and found it to be like, so this what y'all want? Because people was trying to do this thing of like, this is what's wrong. The Super Bowl, Jay-Z, they did the city of New Orleans wrong. You go get Lil Wayne. And it's like, y'all motherfuckers really rallying for somebody else on TV shuffling? And they will do anything to win a fight.
Yes, they will.
And so that was so funny to me. But yeah, I'm not gonna shit on Lil Wayne. I know it's popular too, and I'm not even that huge of a fan of Lil Wayne because I am a little too old.
He has like one, maybe two albums, like at the beginning.
The Carter,
yes,
every word of the Carter. There was a time when he's going off the lean, and it felt like he was putting out a mixtape, not even an official album, once a month.
Yes.
And he lost me there because I could not keep up with the sheer volume and also the quality went down.
It did.
He started doing a lot of the same kind of like he was rhyming the same shit over and over and over. And I was like, no one has that. So yeah, man, it's just it's a lot, boy. Anyway, man, I like both artists, and I still think Kendrick's the right choice, and maybe they'll work on something to get everybody in the same, on the same thing or somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Because normally, certain artists are like the whole show is mine. Do you have some artists that got add people? So it just depends.
Also, shout out to Jay-Z, 5 black acts in a row.
Right. Never would have happened otherwise.
None of y'all saw that coming. I didn't.
Never would have happened otherwise.
I started feeling a little respectability the last few years. I looked at them halftime shows. I said, "Ooh, it's getting a little black in here, ain't it? Jay-Z, you wanna calm down a little bit? You wanna book Coldplay?" Well, you sure you? I said, what's Aerosmith doing? There's a lot of blacks showing up at this party. It's getting kind of dark. Might have to go home early. You know what I'm saying? It's getting late. But nah, he's keeping the black party going, like Rihanna, everybody, and not the respectability blacks, like the blacks that have said shit about the NFL, the blacks that make gangster rap music. Like he don't care. But you know who does need their fucking music and their mics and their equipment taken away?
Who?
I'm gonna tell you right after this break.
If this is where the commercial break is, we don't know shit.
Ooh, I like that. That's just me. And I don't know who that beat is by because I messed up on the last show and DJ Jaffa brought up that I forgot. So I was like, oh shit. So I thought it was Infrared Crypto, but it was DJ Jaffa. So now I gotta go back and label all of them with who the artist is. It's gonna be a big thing.
I apologize about that.
Yeah, my bad, dog. He wasn't even complaining. It was just my bad.
Okay.
So you know who does need their music equipment and mics taken away? Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez, ain't he in jail?
He in jail, Karen.
Okay, I'm about to say, unless it's another Tory Lanez, he went to jail.
But he has prison tapes that have been coming out. And apparently the prison guards went through the cell block and confiscated all his studio equipment. Now, I hate to sound like one of these conservative pieces of shit because I think prison should be a lot less fucked up than it is.
Agreed.
But for this nigga, though, no mics for you.
No mics. I hate to be like this. No mics.
Okay? No mics for you.
Mm-mm.
I don't mind. They should have a music studio in the prison where you get to make music. I think that would be pretty cool.
I agree.
But not for him. I think certain people they shouldn't. They sentence, nah. I don't want you
to get no studio time as part of the sentence.
The incarcerated hip hop star is currently holed up at a California correctional institution where he's serving time for being convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. But he's been passing his days putting out prison tapes with such bangers as Basement and Appellate Court, all labeled under prison tapes umbrella. He has them on YouTube. And he's been, I guess his label has been able to, or him, have been able to benefit from the record sales.
What about it going to? His commissary? I don't understand.
I don't know. God, shit, that nigga probably oatmeal cream pied out. TMZ Hip Hop confirmed the news with Caesar McDowell, CEO of Unite the People and chief deputy of Tory's legal team. Unite the People sound like a million moms for America or whatever.
It's
Unite the People.
It's three of y'all. What are we talking about?
That's y'all name the label.
There's one person in their basement. What are we doing here?
We're told prison officials informed Tory's team inmates are strictly forbidden from having recording devices for various reasons. The team is waiting to learn if Tory will face any further consequences. Yes.
Yeah, they'll probably
add some time to the sentence.
So they probably will add more time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was told this at the beginning of the season.
Right. Everyone know that's against the rules.
I guarantee they was
everybody. There's rules in prison you shouldn't even have to tell people. If you can get Pro Tools and a mic, you can put out records and make money from them. No, the fuck you can't. Everybody know that's the rule. You don't gotta even be from here. I know he's from Canada. And he not like us, but still. Well, it sounds like he shot himself in the foot with that one. Oops, that's not on me.
And he didn't even have to be here. All he had to do was just be quiet, and he could have still been a free man.
I guess him and the warden got off on the wrong leg. He really stepped into this time. Okay. Anyway, you will get no plays from me because I'm not even gonna hit play on these songs so we can make fun of them.
No, I'm good on that.
This is a rumor, and I hope it's not true, but take it with a grain of salt. Matter of fact, take it with enough salt to get high blood pressure because it's from Bossip.
To get high blood pressure.
I'm not sure how Bossip sources their articles.
Right.
Okay. So
Not sure how they vetted.
I love them, but come on. Captain Sava Kang.
Who?
Rumor alleges Megan Good Coretta covers Jonathan Majors' bills and child support. Insiders and social media raise concerns.
Yeah, we know that's true. We don't know if that's true.
I love that title though. Captain Sava Kang. Rumor alleges Megan Good Coretta. So good. All right. Put the paid PR relationship rumors to rest because Megan Good's circle reportedly worries that she's the only one who pays for everything in her relationship with Jonathan Majors. The beloved baddie is in her bag, but is her man in it too?
Oh no.
Lex Directs wrote this. This is some good ass gossip.
Sassy.
Well, we knew Good held down her Kang in court during his domestic assault trial, but an anonymous source told Life and Style she's also holding down his expenses and child support payments, even if she may not be able to pay her mortgage. Girl, what? Who are these sources and where are these rumors?
Right? Who are these people?
Because then the rest of the article look like tweets that are just people reacting to the article, which doesn't prove that the article is true.
Real, right?
It's just black people posting gifts being like, make it good, doing what now?
Where you get this from? This Dick Alley?
Child, couldn't be me.
A bunch of could be me's.
Boo boo the fool. Look, I'm serious. Megan Good is doing what now? It's just a gift. That's not really true.
That's not news.
Megan Good ain't getting none of that money back. Good Lord. I also don't think did they spell her name right? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so
that's hilarious.
Here's what I will say. If that's true, which is probably not, he must be dicking her down to the white meat. Because there's no way.
I guarantee you.
It's no way that's true.
Breaking her whole back.
You would have to dick her down to the studs for Megan Good. Megan Good. To pay your child support for you? She wouldn't even let him borrow child. That can't be true.
I don't think it's
People
true.
just be saying shit. He did make a lot of money.
He made a lot of money.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't that long ago. He got to have some of that money. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he had a kid though. But I mean, not saying he does or doesn't. I just didn't know that. That was
because that's not public news. Yeah. I mean, it's probably public, but I just don't know.
Yeah, it said he's discussed his 11-year-old daughter Ella in multiple interviews. So he has an 11-year-old daughter. So he better not be taking her. She better not. No, come on. That's worse than Cam. If Jonathan Majors,
that's another level.
If he said I'm a great man, and then he was like, "But let me borrow."
I want you to be my Coretta Scott King. Get out of here, sir. I have a dream. I have a dream that you're gonna pay all my bills and my child support. I have a dream. I have a dream that you're gonna be a good woman. Cook and clean and take care of me. I have a dream.
I may not make it to the bank account.
But I'll always be there to dick you down. I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day my children will get their child support paid by you.
I have a dream.
As they play with the other children that I'm not paying for as well.
I have a dream. I will continue to wear these overalls like it's 1922 and you will still love me. I have a dream.
Yeah, I hope that's not true. That's crazy.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's disgusting. All right, let's get into another segment. Let's see. What do I want to talk about next? I know he said we weren't gonna go too long. Oh, I know what I want to talk about.
What's that?
Got to talk about that black capitalism. Okay. Shout out to Will Smith.
Shout out to Will Smith. I hear y'all talking, but the only thing I'm listening to is that paper.
Every day we get into that paper. I hear the money talk. I see you later. Every day we get into that paper. I hear the money talk to see you later.
Don't think I forgot here stuff supposed to be on the $20 bill.
Let's see who's getting to that paper. Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce. She shows off her natural inches in new sacred Sunday wash routine. Because you know she ain't gonna tell us but to sell us, okay?
Right, yeah. Because her natural real hair is beautiful.
Yeah,
she ain't fucking up her hair, all them wigs and colors and shit.
Oh, I know she got the protective styles on lock. But yeah, they were trying to promote sacred.
I've been here.
Hey y'all, it's my sacred Sunday wash day. First, I'm gonna start with the scalp scrub. I take my time and apply to my scalp in sections because I want to make sure it gets in there really good. Get it all over that scalp and hair, especially on those edges. I let it sit and enjoy that refreshing tingle.
Honestly, I see why Jay-Z said we pass kneeling. Because honestly, if this is my wife, y'all can't tell me shit. I'll just have to be a coon then. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you married to Beyonce? No? Okay, well then I guess we'll be not kneeling anymore. Bring on the blacks for the Super Bowl. Anyway, she's getting that money and her hair is obviously looking luxurious.
That and then we cover the liquor too.
Yeah. She gonna get to the bread. Okay. I know y'all hate all the billionaires and shit, but it is what it is. Okay. Start with the white ones, work y'all way down to the blacks. I'll meet y'all at the blacks.
Right.
Okay. But I'm not starting with the blacks. Y'all keep wanting to start to try to prove something to the white man. I'm not with that. Our girl Tabitha Brown.
Come on, Tabitha.
She getting that paper.
Tabitha, yes, she is.
She got an announcement.
Listen, everybody gather around. Everybody gather around and sit down because I'm about to tell you something now. Y'all know I got kitchen appliances, food, plates, stationery, gifting, all the things at Target, right? And every, couple months, excuse me, I release new things. So the end of this month, September 29th, I think it is, I will have a new drop. And that means it starts to roll out into stores. I got some great things coming. But there's one thing in particular. First of all, this is why I love my Target family. Target lets me be me. Honey, and if you don't...
Unlike the fucking Food Network or the Cooking Channel when they fucked up her show.
Not trying funny. Food Network gonna eat crow. Because I can guarantee you...
Rock Nation will crumble!
I can guarantee you something's gonna happen and somebody else gonna pick her up on one of these other network shows. There's 1,800 of them on there. And she gonna be their highest rating show.
Yeah, they probably got some type of non-compete or something where she can't go somewhere else since they didn't finish the show.
Right.
So maybe at some point we'll see her on TV again doing her own show because I really like that show. Contemplated. And there was some good vegan dishes on there and stuff.
Right, some stuff I never heard about. Like they were talking about something called jackfruit. I never heard of that, but it's very popular.
Don't see this product. If y'all ain't seen all my products and realize, Target really loves Tab and they let Tab do what she want to do. But when you see this product that they let me and Donna design, me and Donna got a new cutting board. Is y'all ready? Sit down. I'm finna show you. Get ready. Girl, I'm finna show. They gonna know that they can't. They gonna know. It's not for cutting hair. They know that. It's for cutting your fruits and veggies and things. Donna inspired cutting board. Baby, get into it. Get into the Afro. Honey, look at that. Target.
Oh, that's pretty.
Afro pink cutting board.
Oh, bitch, I might buy one just because.
Yep. I'm in there. Let's do it. September 29th.
You ain't nobody else gonna have that on. Wouldn't nobody even think about that but a black person.
Yep. Charles Barkley keeps $1 million promise to New Orleans school after 2 students were featured. So 2 students solved the Pythagorean theorem, I think it was, which confounded mathematicians for about 2 centuries.
Damn.
And so a representative for the Charles Barkley Foundation said in a statement that the nonprofit is committed to transforming future generations through education and opportunity. And he has decided 4 months ago to donate $1 million to that New Orleans Catholic school. and they've made the first $100,000 payment already.
Let's go.
And I love that kind of update. I love when it's actually an update after the money has changed hands, because people make pledges. Famously,
And
like Diddy's made some, and then the money don't come through. But they got out a great PR when they said, "I'm gonna give $1 million to the such and such." So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I appreciate that. They're gonna be able to do some things.
Mm-hmm. Black capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it. All right, it's awesome. That's great. All right, that's it for Black capitalism. Let's do.
I like that. That puts you in a good mood.
Matter of fact, let's get out on a good mood. Let's do some sword ratchetness and call it a wrap.
Okay.
Oh, this is a news article. I might be able to play it. We might have to sit through a commercial. We'll see. But I'll see if I can play it.
I like that cutting board for real though.
I do too.
Oh, I might get that bitch. 29th? Shit. We might be going up there and having them delivered to the car, because child, I ain't trying to fight nobody in the Target for it.
Sam from Firestarter shared it on Twitter and kind of made a joke about it, but I don't know. The whatever in me said, yeah, but I kind of want it. I was like that Russell Westbrook gift where he eating on the bench. I was like, I know you clowning her, but you gonna be mad on the 29th when I'm taking pictures with it in my kitchen.
Now to that, you know what's gonna happen? Them bitches gonna sell out.
I want them. I want it for real. Like,
me too.
A joke.
No joke either.
Black capitalism worked on me. All right, let's get to the sword ratchetness, everyone.
Owensboro man is accused of wielding a samurai sword during several fights with co-workers. Police say officers were called.
Several fights with co-workers?
Nobody ain't trying to fire, just fired him.
Let me tell you
several fights.
Let me tell you something. If we're at work and you pull out a motherfucking sword and you fight a person, you ain't got to worry about fighting me. I'm gone.
And he did that shit. Whatever they said he
Oh,
did.
yeah, that picture. Yeah, he definitely like Calendar Man.
Police say officers were called to an assault near West 4th and Caslin Streets. Officials say video shows 56-year-old Charles Salee started a fight with a co-worker inside a building on West 4th and Caslin Streets. Police say Salee kept following the victim and confronted them 2 of those times with martial arts weapons. He faces charges of wanton endangerment and stalking degree.
Damn. Well, yeah, man. That's one way to have layoffs.
A permanent layoffs.
Right. Immediate layoffs. We making some cuts. I know. Bye. All right, y'all. That's it. We'll be back throughout the week. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging.